I am E. Wood, and these are the world's strangest city disasters. From Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii to the earthquakes that shook San Francisco, no city can be 100% safe from devastating disasters. Whether it's man-made or Mother Nature, firemen and superheroes can only do so much. Here are some of the more bizarre city disasters. First up, we have Boston's Great Molasses Flood of 1919. At midday on January 15, 1919 in Boston, a huge storage tank filled with molasses burst open. It was said to have been 15 to 40 feet high and some 160 feet wide. Washing through the streets of Boston at approximately 35 miles an hour, it knocked down buildings and covered automobiles, horses, and people. Thickened by the cold temperatures, the molasses solidified quickly, trapping many of those who were unlucky enough to be in its path. After it's all said and done, 21 people died, mostly from suffocation, and some 150 others were injured. Fucking molasses, huh? The Chandka elephant stampede. In the spring of 1972, the Chandka forest area in India, already suffering from a drought, was hit by an intense heat wave. The local elephants, which were typically no problem, slowly became crazed by the high temperatures. On July 10th, the elephant herds went berserk and stampeded through 5 villages, leaving general destruction and killing 24 people. The deadly eruption of Mount Pelée. On May 8, 1902, the great volcano that towers over the town of St. Pierre in the Caribbean suddenly exploded, killing the 30,000 inhabitants. For weeks prior to the explosion, Mount Pelée had been spewing lava, boulders, and giant floods of mud, but even more so, sent forth thousands of insects, snakes, and giant centipedes, which claimed the life of hundreds of livestock and 50 people. Witnesses said that soldiers were shooting at these 6-foot deadly vipers in the streets. Authorities insisted there was nothing to fear, however. In my opinion, if there's a flood of boiling hot mud coming from a volcano spewing lava and snakes, it's time to get the fuck out of Dodge. A few days later came the big boom that killed 30,000 inhabitants. Astonishingly, there were 2 survivors. One was a guy who, the night before, got into a drunken brawl and was put in jail. The thick-walled 200-year-old cell protected him, although he was badly burnt. Soon after that, he was pardoned and spent his last days touring with the Barnum and Bailey Circus showing off his burns. No shit. You just can't do a program about city disasters and not mention Cleveland. Although one of the greatest cities in history, there is a reason why Cleveland is the butt of so many jokes. On June 22, 1969, the Cuyahoga River in Cleveland caught fire for the 13th and last time. The river became heavily affected by industrial pollution, so much so that it caught fire many times. This was strange because rivers aren't supposed to catch on fire. After this, Cleveland gained the nickname the Mistake on the Lake. Cleveland is notoriously known for having disastrous sports teams. However, all that was going to change for the Cleveland Indians baseball team in the early 90s. That's what we thought anyway. Cleveland had two young, promising pitchers thought to bring a winning season, Steve Olin and Tim Cruz. However, they both died together in a boat accident in Florida on March 22, 1993. The Great Balloon Disaster of 1986. In 1986, the charity organization United Way of Cleveland organized a spectacular stunt in an attempt to set a new world's record. 2 million balloons were set to be released. The hope was that the specially made balloons would float up, disperse, and eventually biodegrade. But like every single event in Cleveland history, the weather had other plans. A cold front pushed the balloons back to the ground, clogging the streets. The main problem, however, was that there were Lake Erie Coast Guard helicopters searching for two fishermen that had gone missing the day before. Many of the balloons had settled on the surface of Lake Erie, and the Coast Guard couldn't distinguish the difference between human bodies and stupid balloons. The fishermen's bodies were found the next day, but they were too late. Now, the irony and most Cleveland thing about this story is that a charity organization was responsible for killing two people with balloons. I just got nothing else to say. Except, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.